Welcome to Janoski's Farm and Greenhouse. We come here once a year to talk everything poinsettias, and you can see we've come to the right place. Well, Mike.
Doug.
Thanks for having us out again.
Thanks for coming.
Annual poinsettia opus.
Yep.
We need to learn again everything we need to know about growing poinsettias.
Another year.
Yep. First off, make it the last purchase of the day, right?
Right. The poinsettia is a tropical plant, and it's very, very sensitive to the cold and everything else, so you want to get it from here to your house as quick as possible.
Once we get it home, what do we do to grow it for as long as we can indoors?
When you buy a poinsettia here, we wrap it in a foil. First thing is either take off the foil or poke holes in the bottom so it can drain. And you want to water it. Depends where you put it in the house, you want to water it accordingly. If you put it next to a heat register, you're going to have to water it more often than if you put it on a cold windowsill.
I mean, how do you tell if it needs water or not?
We go by weight or touch of the soil. You can touch the soil and feel the dampness in the soil, and pretty much your finger, if you feel moisture, it doesn't need watered. If it feels dry, peaty, like peat moss, then it needs watered. And
if we have them at home, we definitely want to have water on them, but overwatering can be one of the worst things people can do.
Oh, definitely. I mean, overwatering, it'll drown itself, It's if you feel it and you feel moisture, it should be good. And once a day, just feel it or lift it up, get to know the weight of a wet pot or a dry pot and go by that. But if you think there's moisture there, don't even bother to water it, wait another day.
So when we're looking around the greenhouse and we want the best plant possible, how do we know that it is super fresh and ready to go?
Right, you want to look at the plant and make sure that there's no yellow leaves on the bottom. It's nice and green and healthy looking. And then you look at the top at the beads, and you can see if the beads are all mature or not. The beads start out a real tight bead and they're green, and then they actually open up, and when they're flush, they'll be a bright yellow. And that'll tell you how long it's been blooming. So when you look at the beads, that tells you, you want something that just is colored up now, not 3-4 weeks ago. So everything in here pretty much just turned to its full color right at this point.
Tell me about how you grow your poinsettias here.
We get the rooted cuttings in the middle of August, and we pot them up right here, at our facility, and we grow them on from there. The rooted cuttings are only, inch and a half tall.
So everything has been started from a little plant.
Rooted plant.
And here we have it.
Yes,
and
we grow them on to this stage here,
And that's what makes them a healthier, longer lasting plant.
Yes. They're under our care from the time that they're a little rooted cutting. Then we bring them to the height and the color and everything, what we want. And
now, I know a lot of these plants are already earmarked for churches all over our region.
Yes.
How did this all get started for you guys?
My dad first started growing poinsettias in 1982. And it just started out on a small scale, had one greenhouse of poinsettias. And it just escalated from there. We got hooked up with the Diocese of Pittsburgh for all the Catholic churches and that's when it really took over. You're
delivering actually further than a 50-mile radius.
Right.
Why are people getting a poinsettia from all the way here?
The quality of the plant, plus how it will keep for people after it's, the ones that come from Canada and other states, they're in a box so long, and you just lost your shelf life of it by shipping and everything else being handled so much. Where this is taken out of here, put on our truck, and delivered right to the door.
Number one seller?
Red.
Standard red.
Red.
I always do love the different ones. I've fallen in love with that poinsettia series.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what that is.
That poinsettia is, it actually was developed as a bedding plant for out in the gardens, and then they brought it in. It didn't do too well there, so they brought it into the Christmas, lineup, and it's a very unique poinsettia. It's more compact plant, smaller blooms, but it's a well-lasting plant. I mean, if you're not the best at keeping a poinsettia, I think the poinsettia is where you want to be.
I have one that I got here when we did this last year, still on the windowsill,
Yes.
believe it or not.
Yes.
In a normal poinsettia, how long can we make it last?
I heard people go to Easter around in there. They will, like the red ones will fade their color and everything else, but the plant's still healthy, and it's like, but you could move it outdoors when it loses its color and grow it outdoors and bring it back in and try your luck for next season.
That's what cheapskates like me do.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's very difficult. But
I can never get them to color up right because they don't have the light like this, but it is fun to see it grow out. It's a cool looking plant outdoors during the summer.
Yes, it's a nice green plant, and it'll thrive outdoors in the summer months.
Let's talk about, we always hear about poinsettias being poisonous.
Yes, that's an old wives' tale.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the best part of this, about starting that little plant and then having all this for people and seeing all these regulars come in getting their poinsettia.
We get a lot of people who just stop by every week and look in and watch the progress of ripening and coloring up and everything else, and it's a wow factor when you come through the front door and see this massive color. Compared to springtime, you have all your different varieties and everything, where you got the massive color of poinsettias. It's people got the, when they come through the front doors, they're really impressed. And same with me. Every day when I walk in the back door and see the progress of the poinsettias, when they start ripening in the end of October, and you can just start seeing them, progress to this pure red or pure pink, or how that plant started out as an inch tall and progressed to this. It doesn't get old. Every year it's the same thing, but it's fun to watch.
Sir, thanks so much.
Thanks, Doug.
I need some poinsettias, and I need lots of other poinsettias. Let's go.
Okay.
To learn more about everything we talked about today, go to everybodygardens.com. That's also where there's lots of other great gardening information and where you can join my Seed of the Month Club. Until next week, I'm going shopping. We'll see you then.